Got to get some Dr. Pepper. What's up? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing good. All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode 16 of the Business Breakdown Podcast. Today, we've got an incredible guest joining us, Kai Dickens. Kai is a money and life coach extraordinaire and proud owner of Dr. Budgets. With a passion for helping others and a unique perspective gained from his experiences as a client, coach, and now owner, Kai is on a mission to transform people's relationships with money. In this episode, we're diving into the world of budgeting and critical mindset shifts required for financial success. Kai will share his insights on gaining clarity about your finances, overcoming limiting beliefs, and developing a spending plan that aligns with your goals and values. A quick word and intro from our sponsors. Finance for Individuals and Businesses began with a vision, a community where like-minded individuals could gather and share their passions, experience, and knowledge for a brighter future. Our mission is simple: to foster growth, development, and keep pushing everyone forward. We believe everyone has a potential to succeed, and we're here to support that journey. Join our community of leaders, visionaries, as we learn, grow, and build a brighter future together. For those on YouTube and other platforms, this podcast is originally started as a Facebook group, and we're going to be keeping it here. Join our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/finance for individuals and businesses. We'll see you there. Kai's experience in budgeting and mindset coaching make him the perfect guest for anyone looking to transform their financial life. Kai, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you here. How you doing, man?
Hey, Ryan. I'm great. I'm super excited to be here. I love having conversations with you, and I definitely love talking about money.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. It's definitely a privilege to have you here. Thank you for your time today. I know your time is pretty valuable. Now, what kind of before we dive in, tell us about your journey. What got you into what you're doing today, into budgeting, Dr. Budgets, and changing people's lives through money.
And man, it's a crazy story. I never thought that I would end up here. I was always just the sports guy. I never thought I'd be playing with numbers, but I had a situation where I was working at a nonprofit, and my father passed away, and I decided that I wanted to do something different with my life. Essentially, I ended up signing myself up for a very expensive coach training program because I wanted to be a life coach, right? And
What kind of coaching program was it?
it was a life and business coaching program. It's called accomplishment coaching. It's pretty much the Harvard of life coach training programs. Amazing experience. It's literally given me everything that I have become, like Kai 2.0. I got from that program. So
Nice.
yeah, and going through that program, we had the opportunity to have guest clients so that we could actually learn how to be like real coaches and all that good stuff. And I got Daniel literally the last month, and they got the opportunity to pick their coaches from that. And him and I developed a relationship. I became his life and business coach, so I was on the back end of things, and he just kept bugging me or begging me, Kai, come be a coach for me. And I was like, I don't want to deal with numbers. Like, I literally want to help people have much better lives, just like live possibility. And finally, he was like, come help me with the company culture. And I was like, all right, I'm in for that. But in order to do that, I had to quickly learn, what he was putting clients through. So he gave me two clients that I still have to today, and I fell in love with it. Man, like it's insane. Like, went from not wanting to deal with numbers to realizing that money is that one thing that really does stop people from living the life that I was trying to help them get to. And it was a wrap from that. And a couple of years ago, he offered me my book of business after working together, and I countered and was like, I don't want just my clients. I actually want to be the owner of the business. And that was 3 years ago, and I have no plans on looking back.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
been
awesome.
great.
Those are the kind of connections that people dream of. And whenever you're even just going into the right room or paying for the opportunity to be in that room, it can really change your life. Your network is your net worth, and that's kind of just a perfect example of that. Now, with this Dr. Budgets, you have two locations, San Diego and uh, Colorado, right?
We're in Denver
Where in
now.
Colorado?
Denver.
Denver? Yeah.
Yep.
Couldn't remember if it was Denver. Are you in Denver or California right now?
I'm in Denver right now. I'll
That's
be back
cool.
in Cali at the beginning of the month.
That's cool. I mean, currently as it stands, do you feel like you're getting more clients in California or Colorado? Or is it kind of just a mix of all over?
I mean, I have a mix of all over. I'd probably say half of my book of business is in Cali, but I've got clients that are everywhere.
Mhm.
Here in Denver right now, doing the ground roots, trying to get my feet on the floor, creating relationships, kissing babies, shaking hands, those kinds of
Yeah.
things to kind of get the word out and just connect with the right people and actually be able to grow doctor budgets here locally.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, do you plan on doing a lot of marketing and stuff pretty quickly in Denver?
I'm trying the organic right now just because, well,
Mhm.
one, being here in Denver, I don't know too many people. So it kind of gives you the benefit of like creating real relationships with other entrepreneurs. Definitely working on an ad strategy and some SEO out here as well. I would pretty much, I love the California realm. I would love to have it here and, maybe eventually open up a couple franchises and try to repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. With Doctor Budgets, how exactly did you get introduced to budgeting? Was it through that mentorship that you were a part of?
Got you. No, actually, the budgeting came from my job at the YMCA. As a program director, I ran an expense only department. We were given, actually, I ran two that were expense only. One of them came from campaign donations, and I was given, I think, about a $500,000 that I had to make last for the entire year, as well as run all my programs. And if I
Right.
went over it, I was going to be severely in trouble. And then I moved from that position to taking over all the after school programs. And that was another budget that was right around 1.3, $1.4 million that I had to manage multiple schools and make sure we didn't run out of money either. I was not only going to be in trouble at the Y, I was going to be in trouble with the school district as well as the state.
Right.
So got really good at cutting expenses. So when I took on my first revenue based department, which was summer camp, I quickly saved about $40,000 by going through and tweaking the expenses that I thought were not necessary for camp to run. And it
Right.
actually worked out well because we had a very positive summer. So,
That's awesome. How long did you work for the YMCA?
as a program director, like full time employee, about 11 years, but probably altogether it was like somewhere between 14 and 15. Most of my childhood running, being a youth leader
Mhm.
during the summers, those kinds of things.
I used to
Yeah.
go to YMCA camps as a kid and teen camps.
Yeah, I ran them all, man.
Yeah.
Uh, Even YNG, youth in government. So summer
Right.
camps, they're amazing.
Yeah. They can definitely keep kids busy, keep kids away from the parents. That's the main thing.
They had some pretty cool experiences. We had some fancy camps, equestrian, all the way to laser tag, and then some camps that sports camps that stayed on site. But we had I think we were the third largest in San Diego County.
Damn, that's crazy. So, kind of circling back to doctor budgets, what are the main things that you target with doctor budgets, and how does it affect your clients?
I mean, so the main things that we're really working on is clarity around your numbers. A lot of people come to me, well, I think, but they don't know, right? What's coming in, what's going out, exactly where it's going out, getting people dialed in on that. I'd say about 75, 80% of the clients that come through are struggling with some type of credit card debt, and most of them have credit card debt or between 25 and $70,000, right? They're struggling with, hey, we're paying, but it's not going down, and they don't have a plan because they don't have the clarity around how much money they actually could be putting, places. And then obviously savings, but a lot of the times I'm working with couples and they're struggling with communication with each other because one person is running the finances, one person is swiping the card like crazy and doesn't necessarily care, and they're just not on the same team, when it comes to all of that. So our bubble really is to create the clarity and the accountability for them to move forward. The
Yeah.
tagline is spend wealthily, spend wisely, live wealthy.
That's really good. That's really good, by the way. You talked about targeting couples, doing couples campaigns and stuff like that to help couples more out. Because especially just being a life coach and understanding and being able to moderate and not necessarily take sides and have that open conversation with people where most people can't really have open conversations about stuff like that. Can you tell us a little about that? How's that going?
I mean, it goes really well. Like, luckily, I get to be that third impartial party, right? So I can hear the complaints on both sides, and what ends up happening is like it's magic, man. I can repeat the same thing that one of them said to the other one, and they hear it, right? Remember when we were kids, and like our parents would tell us to do something, and like it would go in, as they said, one ear and out the other. It's the same thing that happens with couples. But then as soon as somebody outside says, "Hey," and it could be the exact same words, and all of a sudden somebody is willing to hear it. It starts off very much like that at the very beginning. They're not listening to each other, and then I'm giving them the skills to start listening to each other. And then they have money dates, so they actually have to start talking about the finances and what's going on. And it's not, the flower doesn't open, right away. Like
Right.
it's peeled back step by step, over the course of multiple meetings, like earning the trust, them both trusting that what they say isn't going to be taken the wrong way and like a fight's going to break out, right? Like when you can do it once, it's like, okay, maybe I'll try it again. Okay, maybe I'll try it again, right? Because they're not being met with the same reaction as they might have been met with in the past when I wasn't on the call, right? And so the
Right.
hope is you learn how to talk on the call, and you can take that back and you guys can talk behind closed doors even without me, because you're building a new skill.
Yeah. It's there's definitely a lot of resentment and stuff that happens, and you just have to clear the air a lot of the times. And you personally aren't involved, but you have to help them get through that, to get through that. Maybe they did this in the past, and that's why I'm doing this. Well, let's figure out why they were doing that, and maybe we could fix it.
Yeah. Or let's play offense. Okay, cool, that happened. If you guys don't want to dwell on that, how do we take that situation and make it different the next time? Now that you have knowledge of how it went before, let's literally just recreate something that we want to make happen moving forward.
Yeah. And finances is a very touchy subject. Not a lot of people talk about it. Even people being married, um, it's you. A lot of people would be surprised what gets held back between couples sometimes. And you might not think it's a big deal, but it really is a root cause of a lot of problems.
Oh,
Um,
100%. Ends marriages, all that good stuff. Financial infidelity, the way that people spend money. You're so right. Right? They're hiding the Amazon packages that are coming in.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Husbands buying guns, wives buying too much stuff off Amazon.
yeah, a lot of that.
Um, I didn't buy another gun. I didn't buy another car.
No,
Whatever.
that's not a new set of golf clubs that you saw. Those are my buddy Paul's.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. What's one of the crazier stories that you've heard? And it doesn't have to be a client. It can be it can be anyone. What's one of the more crazier stories where I guess they were going behind each other's backs?
I actually had one couple where he was stocking away money to buy her stuff, right? And she was literally taking all of the money so that anything extra, because she wanted those red bottom shoes,
Mhm.
right? And one of the presents that he was trying to save for her for was the red bottom shoes, and she ended up actually buying them first and hiding them. And I like it was that's when they came to me.
Yeah,
They came because of the conversation. Like she lied about it, and then he got all mad. And I mean, those red bottom shoes. I think they're like what 15, 15, 2000, $1,500 to $2,000, right? And so he was just because they had an account where they were all in, so they were just like, oh, she was like, I'd go to Target and like just return stuff, but return it to cash. And I'm like,
right.
what are you doing?
Yeah, having that initial discovery where you're putting all your cards on the table is very, very important. Um, with couples, I mean, there is a lot of discovery. Whenever you first bring in couples, what are your no pun intended, what are the couple of your first steps?
So with everybody, doesn't matter if you're a couple or if you are an individual, the first thing that we're going to do is we're creating a spending plan. We need to know where the money has been going. We need to know exactly how much has been coming in, and
Mhm.
what the last 3 months of your life have really looked like. And it doesn't matter if it's uh, the holidays. It doesn't matter if it's the summer and you've been travel. Like, I want to get like a real snapshot of like what life truly looks like for you. One of the clients that I just went with, he makes quite a bit. He's somewhere around that $18,000 a month. But it was also about $13,000 over as an average because of how much money he was mindlessly putting on credit cards, how much money went out over 3 months and vacation, all of that good stuff. And he's like, oh, that makes sense as to why the balance keeps going up. So we've
Yeah.
got to get really clear on what's coming in, what's going out before we can do anything. Like, before we even start discussing, like, what are your savings goals? How do we create a strategy for this? What do you two want to do? We really have to know. There's no guessing in my world. It really is black and white, right?
Yeah. And red.
And yeah, most of the time there's a lot of that is very true.
Black, white, and red. That's funny.
We give happy faces, so the happy faces I think are yellow.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. With after the first couple steps, the discovery and setting up that budget, do you have like a check-in, a weekly check-in, monthly check-in? Do you just kind of mainly do more coaching? Now that we've got this under control, let's try and grow this. Like, what do you want to do? What are your goals?
Yeah. So we have a monthly check-in
Mhm.
where we have a 45 to 60-minute call. I mean, if you're a business, most of the time it takes about 60 minutes because we're doing the owner's personal finances as well as the business finances and having conversations about that. If it's individual or couple, it's about that 45, 50 minutes.
Mhm.
And for the first 4 or 5 months, we're really trying to work on having conversations about what's going wrong. People get super overwhelmed even after the budget has been created because now they think that they need to hit every line 100% perfect. Look, I've never had a client hit everything 100% perfect. If we're playing in that 80 to 90%, we're going to be
Mhm.
moving things forward. But on those calls, the clients can use calls for whatever they need. Like, some of my clients are really bad at doing the work outside, and sometimes we have to use that time to be like, hey, I need you to open this bank account and you need to do X, Y, and Z while I have you physically here in front of me.
Right.
Most of the other ones were really looking at like, hey, this is what it looked like for this month. This is what it looked like against the budget. What two areas are we going to play in? And then we tackle that. Like today, the one of the clients that I had, they're already over for the month in groceries, and they still have like about $1,000 left collectively in discretionary. So our conversation was like, okay, cool. You've got $350 left for groceries. Can we take it out in cash? Right? And can you just use that? And then how do we make sure that $1,000 isn't like, you only have $1,000 to spend? And she was like, oh, that's a completely different way to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So starting to give them tips and tricks, but it takes about 3, 4 months to really get to that point. Um, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And whenever you're kind of working through them on that, understanding where your money is going and kind of having those realizations, that's your wake up call stuff. That's really where you find out where you're spending your money. If it's on entertainment, if it's on food, if it's on alcohol, whatever it is, you just figure out what it is. Whether it's you're using a collective or you're categorizing everything. There's a lot of different ways to cut the pie, but once you dive into and figure out, um, kind of the flow of everything, you could start plugging it off and putting that ceiling just like those it's the budget. You're creating that budget now. Um, and, yesterday, or 2 days ago, whenever we were chatting, you said something like, um, most people are scared to look at their finances, because what it'll do to them. But really, whenever you're looking at your finances and once you understand them, it actually makes you more powerful. It empowers you, so you know what you can and can't spend. It creates that level of discipline and that foresight into the future of just laying that pavement, that foundation for your financial future.
Yeah, for sure. It also takes away that huge layer of anxiety and stress, right? Because now it takes away the
Oh
guess.
yeah.
Like even if you're over, you're like, at least I know that I'm over, and like you can kind of breathe because then you can create a plan.
Yeah. Money is definitely a leading cause to a lot of stress, a lot of divorces, a whole bunch of stuff. And once you really start getting it under control, it's life can get easier as long as you stay clear of the drama.
100%. And it puts you in the driver's seat. So when you can play offense, if you choose to spend the money because you're choosing from a place of like, I decided I'm going to do that no matter what the consequences, it's still a powerful move
Right.
versus, oh my gosh, I didn't realize did that ticket cost that much, right?
Right.
Versus, like, oh yeah, I knew it was going to cost 250, but I decided that I was still going to go ahead and do it. Like playing from that lens just kind of changes. It changes life. It changes the game, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, Yeah, that really can. It changes just the landscape, the vision and the mission, because that's really what it comes down to. I'm sure in your assessment, I mean, we obviously haven't dived into it, and everyone's company is a little bit different. But during your assessment, I'm sure you talk about your vision, your goals, and all that stuff, and what people are wanting to do with their money. And breaking that down and always reverting back to, the vision, the mission, what you actually want to do, the reason why you're doing it. It's a lot easier to stay on task as well that way. um, just having that full assessment is really brings clarity, clears the smoke.
it really does. Like when you figure out what the vision is, right? Now when you go to buy that thing that you don't necessarily need, the needs and the wants, you can truly ask yourself, like, hey, is this actually going to help me get to the goal of saving the down payment for the house? Or I know that I want to go on that Disney cruise. Should I really spend $250 on this today? And when people start shift that when that mindset shift happens, that's when the money starts growing. And then if you actually have it in like an account like Ally where you can make those sub buckets where it's like Disney trip $4,000 and you have to figure out like, yo, I've got $2,500, but I got to take the $500. Am I taking it from the down payment? Am I taking it from the Disney trip? Am I taking it from Christmas? That's a game changer as well, right? Because you don't want to take away from any of those goals that you're saving from or saving.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, man. That's definitely a huge piece, processing all of that information, to your clients and your clients understanding that, it's definitely an aha moment. Um, Man, with, uh, with budgeting, it can definitely be an eye-opening thing. I'll share a story real quick because, I told it to you on Tuesday, but it's my first bank account story. I was 15 years old. I got a job. I was washing dishes at a Thai food restaurant. My first job. Got it the day I turned 15. Thanks, Dad. And he made me get a bank account so I could deposit my first check. So I deposit my first check. About a month later, we got a letter in the mail. My dad intercepted it, but it was a notice to let me know that I was $600 in debt with my bank account. They didn't have, overdraft fees and stuff like that whenever I was 15. So it was definitely a little warning. So, but my dad, he was pissed. My dad took me to the bank and he made me go inside and talk to the bank manager by myself. I ended up going inside, talking to the bank manager, an older lady, very older lady, but she was super cool. I ended up leaving with like $9 in my bank account. And just going through that experience and understanding that it's not going to kill me, but just to tackle your problems head on and figure out how it can be solved and fix your problems moving forward. I think that made a pretty big impact in my life.
totally get that. And like what, like just from that experience, like any other kids that you come across, like what kind of like what advice do you give them based off of your experience being 15, 16?
Man, it's a lot of it revolves around money. I don't have kids, but I've been an uncle since I was 15. I tried to teach my nieces and nephews business a couple times. They would sell stuff at school and then they would come back with no more inventory, like they were selling bracelets. Maybe they had an inventory of 20 or 50 or something around that. They sold it all, made some money. They wanted to come home and spend it on Fortnite. And I tried to, they were like, now I get to spend it on V-Bucks. And I was like, V-Bucks isn't even real money. You're about to change it from real currency to some credit that's on a video game. But they're like cool with it and everything. But I was like, I had to explain it to them. I showed them, I was like, listen, do you want money tomorrow? Okay, so you need to buy inventory to create more money for tomorrow. And you just keep building up your inventory, and that's how you can pretty much start stacking a whole lot more. And that's you reinvesting into your business. Now, obviously, they're like 6 and 7 years old at this time, and they just bought V-Bucks, but whatever.
But that's going to be something that's going to stick with them eventually, right? They're going to remember it at some point. Be like, yo, Unc told us this,
Yeah.
like, yeah, he was smart. Like, we could have just kept printing money if we would have bought more inventory. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of little things that, I mean, it's not that I try and teach lessons or anything like that. I like sharing experience and knowledge. And like, I don't know. Even I've talked about this a handful of times to people who create dream boards. Dream boards is a very trendy topic. It's a very trendy thing. People making dream boards, all their goals and stuff on a board. Don't get me wrong; it's inspiring. But what I find is that a lot of people are saving money to not save money. They're just saving money to buy something or to go do something instead of holding on to it, budgeting, reinvesting, stuff like that. Because people's dream boards are vacations and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. You need to go on vacations. You need to have rest. You need to have recovery. But I think dream boards are a little counterintuitive. I think that people need to understand to save money, not to see money and spend money.
got to save money,
Um,
spend money. Yeah.
yeah, it's not a hot potato. It's not a hot potato, and some people have a m- a mindset that they think that it's going to go away really quickly, so they try and spend it on the things that they really want, but they don't really need,
Yeah.
um, like shoes, red shoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a little journey. I've had a little journey of budgeting and stuff, and even shortly after that little budgeting, fiasco that I had, going into $600 in debt whenever I was 15, I actually started doing paper trading, and for those who don't know, that's like you can join online. It's like fantasy football, but for stock markets. It's a program that absolutely mimics the stock market, and you can, give yourself $1 million, put it into options, put it into stocks, and you get to see what your stuff does, how your strategy does, and it mimics real time. So you can trade daily, weekly, monthly, or even annually, and create like a 10-year game for yourself. But paper trading is something that I got into whenever I was 15 as well. And that was one of my first experiences to realizing how much money is out there and what money can actually buy.
What it can buy.
Um, I was I was fortunate to have been shielded from it whenever I was younger from my parents for the most part. We weren't like rich. We were kind of the lower middle class. Um, but I was still shielded from it, so I didn't know everything until I was, middle teen. So definitely, I was definitely fortunate. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my background, budgeting. I
Yeah,
had
no,
a
it's kind of cool.
my mistakes happened whenever I was very young.
I mean, and that's I think one of the best things, right? Like if parents, adults, like can we don't have the financial education in school right now, right? So if somebody can teach the youth, like, and you have an experience like yours, like it definitely changed the trajectory of your life, right? Like me growing up, I had a money tree. Like it was literally a plant that they paper clips dollars on. Sometimes it was dollar, five, tens, 20s, right? So it was like, oh, money grows on trees. But the thing was, if I took the last dollar, I was told that that tree was going to die. So I had to make sure that every time I took something from it, it I didn't take the last one so that eventually it would replenish. And it was my grandmother trying to teach me that like if I don't spend all of my money, right, like it's going to start to grow. It was her way, right? And like that's just one of the things that's always stuck with me. And like I still think to this day, like, I mean, I refuse to spend the last dollar in my bank account. I don't know if it's true or not, but it works. So
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's definitely a journey, and everyone's journey starts at different points. And yours happened to kind of start at the YMCA, which is cool. The Y. Do you still go to the YMCA or ever stop by or
sometimes when I'm at home, like I did for a while, like after I stopped there, because like for like 10 years I had friends that were, still, within it. I don't
are you still
necessarily
a Y member?
no, I'm 24 at this point. So
Okay, I'll cut this part. We won't let the Y see that.
yeah. No, not anymore.
That's funny. We talked about you being an unfortunate Giants fan. I did want to ask how that happened. Um,
Uh, how did that happen? So I'm from Northern California, from
right.
uh, and I remember, so my teams are the Raiders and the Giants and the Lakers. I came home when I was probably 6, maybe 7, with an Oakland A's hat on.
Oakland A's.
Oakland A's, right? And
Okay.
I run the house like with this, green and yellow hat on, and my grandma's like, "Boy, what you have on your head?" She literally took the hat off my head, she threw it in the trash can, took me to Foot Locker and bought me a Giants hat and said, "This is your baseball team. No questions asked." And that's just how it works. That's my baseball team because
That's
grandma said,
good. That's
"Yep."
good. I bet you were pretty happy with the World Series win, a little over 10 years ago, against the Rangers,
Yeah. Well, I don't remember which one. Was it
2012 or 2011.
I think 28 or 2010? I was in Thailand, and for some of the games, I was literally watching it on like my Yahoo app, like refreshing the game so I could see
The
like us
service.
move. Yeah, it was insane. Like that's the kind of fan I am. They're actually going to be here in Denver this weekend. So I'm going to the games on Saturday and Sunday.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And it's the Giants who are playing, so Giants and Rockies.
Giants Rockies, and then when I come home in September, I'll be heading to the Giants Padres because I'm in charge of the events for one of my networking groups, and that's where
Aren't
we're going.
you are you a Padres fan also or just mainly Giants?
I'm diehard Giants. I will support the Padres when they're not playing my team because
Okay, okay.
let's just say like it is the most beautiful stadium I've ever been in. Like it's better than our stadium. Our
That's what
stadium's
I've
beautiful.
heard, man.
Yeah,
I've
the
heard
Padres
I've heard
stadium.
that a lot about the San Diego Stadium.
You need to come out for a game. Like
For sure.
definitely need to
For
come out
sure.
for a game. I've got friends with season tickets. We'll just come visit. We'll pick a time.
Yeah, the stadiums have definitely changed over time, but the San Diego Stadium, and I mean, honestly, you don't get better weather anywhere in the United States besides San Diego.
Petco Park is amazing. It's
Yep.
from the experience coming in. Actually, one of my clients made the bat. There's a new bat out there. He was the one that did all the woodworking for it. It's pretty cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. How long ago did he do that? Is
He
that like a new upgrade or
it just got put in. The installation was this year because they changed the whole like park. It used to be play at the park.
Mhm.
Tickets used to be $5 back in the day. You could bring your whole family for like 20, $25, and they're not that price anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, they read the whole thing and he put it out there. So
Are you
it's
are
pretty cool.
you're going with someone to the game, aren't you?
The Giants game?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This
Mhm.
this weekend.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun when you go with people during the Rangers. I don't mean to keep going on about baseball, but during the Rangers playoff games, in like the late 2000s, early 2010, I scrimped and saved to try and go to at least one game of every series. Unfortunately, they didn't win back-to-back years, and luckily, I'm a Dodgers fan. We won the Mickey Mouse World Series in 2020.
Yeah.
And
Things
then the Rangers win an unexpected World Series. That was pretty cool.
yeah. No, I feel you, man. The Mickey, and we did that with the Lakers. We had to do it for Kobe. So, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
man. You're a Lakers fan also?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yes, I am not a fan of LeBron, but
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this: Kobe or Michael?
it's Jordan first, then Kobe. And I am a diehard Kobe fan. Like, we're
Yeah.
talking 8 jerseys, an autographed ball. It's Jordan first and then Kobe.
I have the same birthday as Michael Jordan. I don't know if I told you that,
No, you did it.
but I will brag about that till I die.
That's dope.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
You agree with me?
I
Kobe and
One
Jordan?
day he'll see my tweets.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he never goes on Twitter, but it's Jumpman23. I think that's his Twitter tag.
I think it is.
Um, uh, Man. So sorry, back to Dr.
Back to
Budgets,
money.
man. I know we talked about your future with Dr. Budgets and everything. It's gonna keep growing. It's your baby. What are your next couple levels that you're trying to get to with Dr. Budgets, or what are the next couple projects that you're working on?
Yeah,
Because I know
so
I know you're working on also bringing on more coaches in the future.
yeah, definitely want to get a support coach role. Just I want to be able to just continue to deliver client value. If the more they can learn, the more successful and supported they feel. I feel like the farther they're going to be able to get. So support coach and eventually another coach or two. But I'm also looking at creating some type of a budgeting school, and
Mhm.
then kind of branching out into workshops. I love speaking. I love training, and just actually connected with somebody who has asked me to do a teen program, so that we can start teaching the youngins about money early. And she's like, I will partner with you. She's like, I have a vast group of kids over here. Like, let's do this together. And I'm totally on for that because eventually I would love to get away from being the only person that's coaching, right? Like, I've got coaching days, but if I can go out and teach kids how to do this so that they don't get into some of the issues that I see some of my clients having now, that would be
Right.
one of the biggest gifts. Like, I come from a nonprofit background, and yes, like, you have to work and make money, but like, I would love to be able to give back to the kids.
Right.
And yeah, so
Have you ever reached out to the Y?
I might know a couple of people at a couple of different ones.
Yeah. I'm sure it's an avenue you've already looked at, but
It's funny,
um,
I ran an after school program, and like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I'm like, why didn't I even think about putting this into my kids program? Because we programmed some cool stuff. I had an entrepreneur camp, I had a whole bunch of things, but never did I think about having a money camp.
what was the entrepreneur camp?
We were just trying to teach them about business, essentially understanding that you don't have to, not everybody wants to go to school. Some people want to work for themselves, and like just trying to open up their mind. We had a couple of people that were very successful entrepreneurs that were on our, like, my campaign staff. They came in, volunteer time, told them how they started their business. We even had them come up with like some creative ideas as to what they wanted to do, products that they could create, just like little things like that, just kind of putting it into their mind that, like, there are a million different ways that you can go to be successful as an adult. It's not always doctor and lawyer. Like, entrepreneurship is really cool, and you can be responsible for helping other people make money and have jobs.
Yeah.
So
And there's definitely a whole bunch of different ways to make money. It's not just you working for someone and getting a check.
yeah. Yeah, right. It's different mindset than probably both of us grew up with, but it's really cool that there are so many options, right? And we did talk to them about money, and they're like, hey, you do need to save if you're trying to buy a franchise, or you can't just save $5,000 and go off and try to start a business because it might not work off of 5,000. There is a runway that you want to have in order to be comfortable and successful. So I guess we did talk about money, but it wasn't just like focused around money.
Right, right. Or budgeting. It's not like there's not a lot of kids who get an allowance and have to learn budgeting and stuff like that. Like A lot of the times whenever I went out with like my nieces and nephews, they would always ask for something, and I would be like, "Well, how much money do you have?" Or like, "Do you really want to spend your money on that?" That was usually my next question. Don't you want to? Weren't you talking about buying this earlier, or weren't you talking about doing this earlier? So, um, there's definitely been uh, some good conversations that you have with kids that also makes you realize. It's a good getting back to the basics, um, helps you stay grounded. That's what I find, helping people with, like, the basics, does. But,
Yeah.
um but yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I agree with you. Like I was a money hoarder as a child, man. Like you gave me $1, it was getting okay. I used to iron and starch my money because I liked it like super crisp until I burnt the carpet and then I got in trouble. So then I stopped ironing it on the carpet.
What do you mean you put starch on it?
You know, the starch. Like literally I would iron it because like I wanted, you know, the starch.
You just sprayed money.
I would
S
starch those things came out crispy. They were great.
Really?
I would slide them into my little day planner in my hidden spot. I was saving for a VCR back then.
Man, a VCR.
A VCR. Yep. Yep.
I actually I didn't starch my money. I didn't, iron my money either, but I did put, cash in books and put the books under my mattress, so it would have the weight on top of it, so it would eventually, flatten out, get more crisp. That's
You should
funny.
try it. Go buy some starch and try it today. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's not like I'm hiding monies and hiding money in the walls like Joel Osteen at his church. Um, that's crazy. You heard about the plumber, right?
Yeah.
I can't like they were doing some plumbing fixing or something in the wall and they took down or part of the wall and there's money in the wall, like 100 something thousand. Like that's crazy. And he's like, I don't know anything about it.
That's what my grandma did. She used to hide money in the house. Envelopes
In
full
the
of
walls? Oh, okay. Envelopes.
it was well, it was everywhere. It was in the chair, the bed, like bathroom, vents. Like there was money everywhere, man.
I like her style.
Yeah.
I like her style. They say the paranoid survive. Um, there's yeah, um, money can definitely be a funny topic, especially whenever you look back on your mistakes and you learn from them. You think about how dumb you were, but I mean, it's a mistake. You learn from it. You don't regret it. You don't regret part of it. You don't regret any of it. You just learn from it and move on. And the biggest thing with budgeting and learning is learning from it so it doesn't happen again. Um,
Well, I
yeah,
think though you also have to be in a good mindset right there, right, to be able to see the gift in the mistake. Because some people are so hard on themselves that they can never see the gift or the other side, the silver lining, and so they'll continue to make the same mistakes and like just beat themselves up, and like it's just a a downhill hill place, right? But if you can really look at it and be like, all right, this is the good thing that came out of it, even though these five bad things, like I got one thing I can take and apply it to the next place. You know.
yeah. So for doctor budgets, who who are you partnering with right now? Who are you trying to partner with? Who would you like to partner with?
I love working with financial advisors because I can help them get their clients to the investment that they want. You know, if they're like, "Hey, so and so, this budget isn't in line, but we're trying to get them to be able to send $500 a month," I can budget that in, right? And so people are saving, they're paying off their debt. Um, Divorce attorneys also because it's very it's hard to split, right? And they've got to split assets. There's a lot of stress that can happen. I can come in, I can really help alleviate the stress. Um, Real estate agents, you know, people trying to buy houses. So people that are in, I guess you would say, big life moments, big life shifts. I can come in and be kind of a shining light for them so they can see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
What about newly engaged couples?
Love working with the newly engaged couples. It's especially trying to help them. For them, it's, hey, are we doing money separate and alone? Are we going to combine our finances, go 100% all in? Are we doing some type of a hybrid account? Um, I mean, I've met couples that have been married for 4 or 5 years and they're still doing things very, very separate, and it's stressing them out, right? So just
Yep.
giving them the ability to understand that there's multiple ways. You don't 100% have to go all in if you don't want to, but like let's create a path for you guys to actually blend your lives. Love working with them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's definitely different. It's like the opposite of working with divorced people, except sometimes you might bring something to light that they were gonna hide in the first place. But um,
I
it's
think
all
with
it's
divorce
all
couples, it's kind of about making sure that both people feel set up as they leave, right? Because there's so
right.
much change. Like now you're going from one household to two households, right? There's a lot of stress there. Maybe one person, because like I run into a lot of couples that, like I said, there's a CFO of the money. One person's dealing with the money, the other person's not really paying attention. So when they're splitting, does the other person even know how to pay the bills or have an awareness of how much the bills cost, right? So it's really helping create that. So as they move forward in life, they're being moved forward with a path and a plan.
Yeah. Yeah, that vision, plan, and strategy, everything is super important. Whether it's you're getting divorced or getting engaged, it's definitely a huge pivot point in anyone's life. Um, and you're absolutely right about that. Whenever you said that, whenever they're going through major changes, you're seen as a shining beacon or a fixer.
Yeah, get to plug the
Um,
hole for a second, and I focus on the positive, right? So even if
yeah,
there's a bad moment, I'm like, hey, but that's just me all the time, just trying to make sure that they don't take it too hard. Like there's always room to grow from a mistake.
yeah, yeah, for sure, man, for sure. That's cool. With hiring coaches and everything, what are the first couple things you're looking for with your coaches?
For me, it's somebody that truly has a passion for helping people. Like the numbers thing can be taught, right? But you have to be able to be comfortable in a place where uncomfortable happens, right? Like money's a taboo subject to be talked about, right? So if two people getting a little heated on the call kind of skeezes you out, it's probably not a good fit for me. If you're very type A and you don't have any like empathy and the ability to like, kind of bring people together and kind of be their cheerleader, like for me in my business, it's not going to be a good fit. Like I need people and I want people who truly like are passionate about helping other people. If you have that, that's something that I can't teach. I can teach you my systems. I can teach you how I go through the system with the client, right? And I also want coaches who come with fresh ideas, right? That are like, hey, you know what? Like this is a great part of the system, but I see something that might be missing that we can add in order to help a client, right? Just because it's my business doesn't mean that it has to be my way 100% of the time. If like it's something I haven't tried and it's going to help my clients, I'm totally down, right? So I guess I don't
Mhm.
always want yes men, yes women. And honestly, I'm probably looking for somebody who's not as entrepreneurial minded as me, right? Like not gonna try to go out and try to like build themselves an empire or another business. I want somebody who wants to grow with doctor budgets as we grow and be an integral part of our team.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's I understand the recruitment process. It's definitely tough to recruit the superstars. Um, but if you can build the culture and get a couple superstar first hires, the rest is kind of butter. You don't necessarily have to do all the work. It's a lot more autonomous.
And like as the former owner said, he's like, I wanted somebody who was better than me. He's like, I got lucky and I found you. I would love to find somebody who's better than me at the coaching to bring onto the team because like that's just amazing, right? Like it's just great. I I don't need to be the top dog. Like if you're this passionate and you can go out and crush it, please, I'm going to give you all the resources I can for you to crush it and try to get you as many clients as I potentially can as well.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's cool, man. Well, we're definitely going to have you back on in the future. For those who are just joining, we are just about to get off. But this is Kai Dickens. He is a group expert in our group finance for individuals and businesses. He's the owner of Dr. Budgets. We just went over a lot of budgeting and mindset, some stories and all that stuff. But man, it was really, really good having you on. Looking forward to chatting with you again next week. I know we have a call. I want to say it's Wednesday or something like that. Yeah,
Yep.
Wednesday morning. It's going to be good. But and that's we're also you're going to get to meet the rest of the team too. It's
That's
going
what
to
I
be
don't
cool.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe that the time's gone by so quick. Like this was just such a fun back and forth. Like you don't even realize that so much time has passed. So thank you for being a great person on the other side. You know what I mean, man? So
Yeah,
thank you
man.
for having me also. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No, I definitely appreciate you. You want to plug yourself before we get out of here? What's your website?
Sure. Yeah. If you want to check out the website, it's Dr. Dr. As you can see at the very bottom.
Like
Dr.
Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, yep. .com. Yep, that is it right there. Same thing on Instagram, and then we've recently started a YouTube channel. It's called Dollars and Dialogue. Where I'm
Dollars in Dialogue?
Dollars and Dialogue, where I'm
Nice.
delivering content for couples. I'm going to be bringing on some experts. Ren's going to be coming on pretty soon for me over there. And then yeah,
Nice.
so
That's cool. I'm gonna go follow that channel,
Dollars
Dollars in Dialogue.
and Dialogue.
We'll also put it in the chat and everything. Also, once we get off here, just throw your information in the comments because I know we can't really do it when we're live, but that'll be tagged in there. But yeah, man, it was really good having you on. Let me check one thing real quick. Okay, cool. We're good to go, man. It was
Cool.
good chatting with you. I'll
Great
have a
chatting as
good
well.
weekend, man. I'll
You
talk
do
to you
the
again
same
next week.
after the Giants win. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you beat the Rockies' ass all you want.
I hope so, man. If we lose to the Rockies, I'm coming to
Yeah,
that meeting like this.
they're in the Dodger division, so yeah, take care of them for
We're
us.
all in the same division.
That's funny, man. I'll talk to you later, man.
Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.